Ooh, these ice packs are a game changer.
Honestly, these are fucking great.
When I tell you that it's at least 1,000,000 degrees right now,
If I were to guess.
at least 1,000,000.
God damn!
What's going on?
You know. Same old story.
Different day.
Yep.
Hey, did you know that it's almost my birthday? Not that it's a big deal or anything, but like my birthday's coming up and I'm gonna be on the other side of mid-30s.
Oh, are you so excited for your birthday?
I'm
Not for
so
like how
fucking
old you're gonna be.
Pumped.
You fucking
That's my
old-ass
goddamn
lady.
is that we're going camping for my birthday this weekend and I am so excited. So fucking excited to be in nature and be alone and no fucking problems of the world will touch me. I'm not even gonna look at my fucking phone.
Yep, love this.
I'm just gonna sit around a campfire. We get to walk in a little hike. It's not even hard. It's not a hard hike.
I like how you looked at me like, don't worry, don't bail yet.
Because you know it's me. I wouldn't suggest a hard hike. It's hard enough that like I'm not going to go that far, but it's far enough that you get to call it a hike.
Okay.
And there's so much water and there's little waterfalls and it's so cute and it's so pretty.
How fun.
And you can get into the water. Well, I don't know if they have these areas, but the areas I saw, it's more like a stream or a creek than it is
a little crick.
like a river.
Uh-huh.
So like if you got in the water, at most it's like to your calves.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I know.
The kids
so
are going to love
kids,
it.
I know. The kids get to play in it. We don't have to worry about them fucking drowning. We have to worry about them slipping and breaking something, but it's a small fall. We might break something.
They'll be fine. They'll bounce back.
And then we're talking about maybe going fishing, and I'm just so pumped.
I am too.
Can't fucking wait.
How exciting. Well, goddamn, I'm real excited to do that as well.
No big deal. And I'm already on, it's fucking my Friday right now.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm taking actual Friday off.
Hell yeah. I am too. I'm so excited.
It feels so good.
It's the busiest time at my work right now. And I was like, anyway, we planned this fucking months ago. Because I'll never learn.
No.
I will
and it's
never
my
learn. I
birthday,
always take it off.
So it's worth it.
That's probably why I always take it off.
Probably. Thank you.
And every time I'm like, God damn it.
Hey, it's not my fault I was born during soccer season.
I know. What a fucking tragedy of life.
Honestly, and I hate soccer, so sorry
again.
for everybody who loves it.
Just bummers all around.
Oh my god, it's like the most boring sport to watch.
Well, yeah.
It can end in a 0-0.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yep, that was the fucking game. You're like, how long was that? 90 minutes?
I'm glad you wasted your entire fucking
Anybody
life.
know how long 90 minutes is?
It's a long time.
It's so fucking long. And you're in the sun? What? This sucks.
Think about the players. They're running.
I don't
the
know how they
whole
do it.
Time.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's why all around soccer's dumb.
Soccer's dumb.
Unpopular opinion.
Played
I'm
it
get
for
some
my
hate for
entire
that.
life.
I know. It's a huge thing around here, too. In
I
San
liked it at
Diego.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure playing it for fun or whatever. Well, not for me, but like for some people, if you're playing the game, at least you're involved, right?
Yeah. but
Fucking watching it?
No,
Oh
that's
my
torture.
God.
Pure torture.
I remember going to Lee's friend's house when we had first met, and he's like, we're just going to watch a soccer game. Never had watched a soccer game before in my life because I don't come from a sportsy family. The only thing they ever watched was like Sunday Night Football.
You're like, when do I cheer?
Oh my
You're
God.
like, never, because nothing happens.
Nothing happens. And I didn't know anybody there, so I was genuinely watching the game, and I'm like, what the fuck? This shit sucks. And I was just dying to go home, and I kept watching the clock. I'm like, 90 minutes? I don't even know if that's how long it is.
It
I
is,
just remember
yeah.
it was like an insane amount of time.
Yeah.
Like over an hour.
They're like 45-minute halves or some shit.
Just like watching people run back and forth with this ball. And
Yeah.
nobody made a single goal. And they're all talking about fucking sports and shit. And I'm like, I want to die. Why
and then
did
you
I
were
agree?
like, I'm going to marry this man.
I did. And he loves sports.
He really
But you know
does.
what? I love drinking and partying. So we
So-
each have our own thing.
With our powers combined,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll have sports-themed parties.
For it.
I'll be out back.
Drinking and partying.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Well, you want to hear my goddamn?
Obviously.
Well, I have a fucking 1,000 right now because
God.
everything is crazy, everything is busy, and things have happened. But I'm going to go with Hank got out. Fucking again.
No, not Hank. What
Oh,
happened?
Hank. I was taking a nap, as I do, and
Jelly?
Brandon walks in and just grabs my foot and goes, Hank's gone.
Nope.
What the fuck, man? Like,
Go
how
get
gone?
him.
Yeah, like,
I'm
how gone?
sleeping.
What do you mean? Exactly. I was like, oh, okay. So I get up, fucking get dressed again or whatever, and I'm like, I guess I'll go look for him.
Yeah, like, do we have any leads?
No
Not
leads.
leash. I mean, like, where
Yeah.
the fuck did he go?
Yeah, like, did you see him?
Yeah.
Do we know about how long he's been out? Anything? No
No.
idea.
Oh,
So
God.
I'm like, okay, we'll post it on fucking the Ring app or whatever, I guess, right? So he does that, and I just take off in the Jeep. I'm like, well, let's go fucking look
Start
for him.
cruising. Start yelling.
The problem is you don't know where he went.
No.
Like, he could have gone one direction, which goes up into a hill, like
With
a nature preserve thing.
With, like, no roads.
There's no road. Like,
Yeah.
that's a hike. So
Yeah.
I went by there. I'm like, well, I don't see him. But I also don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
Like, is he still on the run or is he done with his hike? You
Yeah,
know?
and he's just sniffing shit.
Yeah.
Chasing the butterflies.
So go through there, and then he could also go, like, out the back of my house, which leads to another fucking neighborhood that doesn't have roads connecting from my neighborhood. You have to, like, go around outside of the fucking neighborhood to the other neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess I'll go fucking that way. So I'm dicking around. I'm going all over these fucking hills. I'm asking everybody. Got all
Oh
the
my
windows
God.
down. I'm like, Hank.
Please tell me he was at home the whole time.
So I asked this one lady, she's out blowing her fucking yard or whatever, and I was like, hey, have you seen a big-ass dog? And I asked another lady that. She was standing very proudly in front of a fucking table of, like, books, and she went, free stuff. And I said, have you seen a big-ass dog? And she went, no. And that was it. And I was like, okay.
Did you say big ass dog?
Yeah. But she's like, no. And I was like, okay. So then I stopped this other lady, and I was like, hey, have you seen this big-ass dog? And she said, oh, no. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
He
no.
got out? And I said,
Oh.
yeah. And she's like, well, I haven't seen him, but
Oh.
you gotta get him. There's coyotes out here.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I fucking
Whatever,
know that,
lady.
but
Like, go
also,
away.
thanks. Like, I'm
Yeah.
driving around looking for my dog, and you're gonna be like, he's probably dead.
Oh
Like,
my God, I thought she was gonna, like, I thought she was like, oh no, like she saw him hit.
oh no, I saw him dead over there.
Jesus.
No, she was just
Terrible
like,
response.
oh no,
Heartbroken.
he's gonna fucking die. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah. And she goes, does he do this a lot? And I was like,
I don't have
mean,
time to talk.
yeah. And I was like,
I'm
I
out.
mean, he's been out before. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, does he come home? I
Bitch,
don't
I'm
know,
looking
man.
for
I
him.
wouldn't be out here if he came home. And also, we've never let it get that far.
Yeah.
And also, the last time I found him, he was fucking 17 miles away down by, like, the river or whatever,
Oh,
by the
God.
reservoir. Like, it's not...
How did you find him that time? It was through the app?
Yeah, someone had spotted him on the Ring camera, and they're like,
That's
saw him
fucking
going down this fucking road.
insane.
And then Brandon pulls up, and he's literally miles from the house.
That is insane.
like, on the way to
like-
my kid's school.
because normally when dogs get out, it's like, oh, they're in the neighborhood, but your dogs are like,
No, he's like, I
We're
gotta go while the
traveling.
getting's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, I smell water that way.
I could see Hank running that fast too. Like,
Absolutely.
He's so
He's
short
fast
haired
as
and
fuck.
slicked. Yeah.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
And he just fucking goes, apparently.
Oh no.
So that was a dead end. So I was like, all right, well, I have to get gas. Then I got gas.
Oh
and
my
then-
God.
I know. And so then some guy at the gas station, because again, not great neighborhood,
Yeah.
he was like, hey, really like your car. And I was like, fucking thanks.
Have you seen a dog?
Yeah, like, I don't really want to ask you, though, because he's in, like, a work van or something, right? And I was like, cool, thanks. And he's like, yeah, is it good on gas mileage? I'm like, no, man, it's a Jeep.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking 2 miles to the gallon. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's not. He's like, yeah, I drive a Benz, but I'm like, cool,
Oh, God.
man.
Nobody fucking cares.
I'm
bro.
gonna go. I'm distraught. I'm in pajamas. Like I said, I got dressed. I didn't get dressed.
You put clothes on.
I put clothes on. Exactly. And so I'm just like, I don't fucking know, man. So then I'm finally like, whatever. I don't know where he is. And the places that I could drive, like, he could be fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
He could be in someone's backyard and you wouldn't know unless he, like, decided to fucking pop out, right? And you
Yeah.
happen to be driving by at that time. So I think it's not going to happen. So I go back up my fucking block or whatever. And as I'm on my block, like, I usually go this way, I'm going to go this way, right? One fucking corner square, whatever thing, right?
Yeah, like
and
you
I go
turn a
up the
different
other
road.
way. His dumbass fucking head bounces out from one of the
Yes.
houses. And I was like, thank fucking God.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Hank. And he, like, looks at me like, huh? So I, like, park the car in the middle of the fucking road, and I get out, and he just runs around, looks at the Jeep, and, like, fucking open the door, and he just climbs right in, like, thanks, Mom, where are we going?
Oh my God. Chelsea does that shit.
yeah.
Well, she'll run for a while, but once she's done, she'll get back in like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going for a ride? Yes.
Like, hell yeah, is this what I was hoping for? No. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was so fucking frustrated. So then I bought an air tag for him, and now he'll have an
Good.
air tag on
That is
his collar.
smart.
But...
That's actually really smart.
thanks. I was like, never want to do this again because I don't know where he could be. He could be in the fucking neighbor's pond, which is like 30 feet away, but behind a bunch of shit. Like,
oh, God.
and down an alley thing. I just don't know where that dog goes. So
I have some air tags and we haven't used them. I should put them on the dog's collar.
you absolutely
That's a
should.
Great idea.
At least on Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chip's not going to get far.
She's tired.
Yeah, that's Carl. Everyone's like, are you going to get one for Carl? I'm like, nah, he's a home dog.
Okay. Yeah.
If he gets out, he's going with Hank, so he'll be wherever Hank is.
Yeah, for sure. And they don't want to go far alone.
Exactly.
They're like, where are you? I thought you were coming.
Yeah, if Carl's alone outside, he'll be in the fucking vicinity.
Like crying to get back into the house.
Exactly. My favorite couch is in there. Oh, man. So then I got a fucking air tag for him and everything. And that very same day, Brandon fixed the garage door, which was the culprit on why he got out. And so hopefully it'll never happen again. But if it does, I'm fucking ready.
Yeah, you are. God damn. That's okay. Just because you had to go, you were taking a nap, woken up.
Traumatically.
Strike one.
Yeah.
Had to put clothes on in this heat. Strike two.
Honestly.
Then had to go drive around fucking talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Strike three.
Those are my 3 least favorite things.
And
to
then-
be woken up, put clothes on, and talk to strangers.
And then you ran out of gas.
Yeah.
The fucking universe hates you.
Honestly.
Strike 4. But then you did find him on the way back, and
I
you
did.
wouldn't have if you didn't stop to get gas.
That's true.
Potentially.
Potentially. That's true. But I was ready to give up on the whole dog.
Fuck it.
I was like, that's like a $40,000 dog because of the last surgeries and bullshit,
Oh my
right?
God, I know. This dog is like really giving you guys a run.
Trying
for
to
your money.
fucking kill himself.
Yeah, he is.
Trying. But
Was Brandon happy or like what?
like, he's just like, whatever. He's out. I don't know. And I'm like,
So he wasn't willing to go chase him and find him?
no. Well, I mean, I did it. I don't know if he
Yeah,
was
he
willing
didn't
to or
need
not.
to.
But I was
Yeah.
just like, I guess I'm going.
Oh man.
Yeah. And someone had to stay with the kids. So
yeah, I was
there's
like,
that.
makes sense.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm not going
but-
to bring them because then they'll just cry the whole time. Like, he's dead.
Yeah, it traumatizes your kids.
Yeah.
I'll speak from experience. Now my kids panic anytime the door's open. They're like, don't let the dogs out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need to bring the groceries in. Move out of the fucking way.
I'll push past them.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Well, God damn. That
God-
is traumatic.
Damn.
I'm glad you survived it, though.
Thanks, me too.
Okay. Do you want to talk murder?
I do.
All right. Well, this episode is brought to you by Critty Cat again.
Oh, Crit Cat.
Because for my birthday, she did some research.
She was like, I got you, girl.
I fucking was so excited when she said that because I was saving the night before we record to actually research and pick a case and all this other shit. And then yesterday, which would have been yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday was a total fucking shit show. And it was back to school night.
Oh,
and
no.
then my oldest son came home early from school because his stomach hurt. So I had to leave work early and all this. Oh my God, it's such a fucking shit show. And then Lee had to do like a bunch of things, you know, like go help his dad with something. We had to do a Costco run for camping. Anyway, it was just like, it would have been fucking insane. So
Yeah.
she saved my ass. So thank you, Critty.
Hell yeah.
Okay, but today I'm going to tell you about Grant Amato.
Grant? Okay.
Grant. So first we're going to start off with his parents. So Margaret Ann, who went by Peggy, was a single mother of 3-year-old Jason when she met the love of her life, Chad.
Okay. These are very basic ass names.
All of the people in this story have some basic ass names, so I'll keep saying like the relation
Okay.
as we go along. Because even I had a hard time at first. Chad and Peggy both went to the University of Florida,
Oh.
and it wasn't long before they got married, which was in 1986.
Okay.
Chad was 100% committed to Peggy and Jason, and he made it official by adopting Jason.
Aw, sweet.
I know. So Jason says, like, he doesn't have a memory of a time where Chad wasn't ever his dad. So to him, Chad is his dad.
Yeah.
In 1987, the couple had their first son together, which was a boy named Cody. And then on May 20th of 1989, a third baby boy named Grant was born.
Okay.
So now we have 3 boys in the family, and we have mom and dad.
Got it.
Peggy and Chad had purchased nearly 3 acres of land in Chuleta, Florida, which is about 30 minutes outside of Orlando.
Okay.
Chad, the dad to Grant, designed their 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, which had a game room, gym, dining room, living room, and each boy had their own bedroom.
God damn.
So it was a nice-ass house. Okay?
Yeah.
Peggy had discovered that there was a neglected horse that was roaming the property because it was 3 acres. And she soon found herself spending all of her time with this horse, and the horse's name was Lady. She named it Lady, I'm guessing. I don't really know because it was neglected.
If it's abandoned, it's probably not like...
Could you imagine if you were talking to the person who neglected that horse?
Yeah, right? Like, anyway, her name's Lady. We fucking hate her.
Yeah, Jesus. So despite...
What if horses wore collars? I'm sorry, that's all. And like had dog tags, you know? And you're like, oh, this one's Benjamin.
What a great idea.
They should, right?
Yeah.
Like nameplates. You could make them like the gold ones that have like the name in cursive.
Ooh.
It's like a necklace for a horse.
Yeah, where it's like always like Jessica.
Yes.
Jasmine.
Melissa.
Lady. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so despite Lady bucking Peggy off a bunch, Peggy eventually nursed Lady back to health and got her, like, broke her again to ride her and everything.
Yeah.
And she took care of that horse until the day that the horse died.
Aw.
So Chad, her husband, loved the outdoors, and he spent much of his free time as he could outside.
Okay.
So Chad described Peggy as the moon to his son and his soulmate.
Okay.
Ew.
I hate it.
But the point being, they're in love.
Yeah, they're so in love. Got it.
Exactly.
The stars and the moons aligned so that they could be together.
Exactly. They did their best to provide the best life for their 3 boys, and Chad had a chemistry degree, and he was a pharmacist.
Damn, okay.
I know. And Peggy was a medical transcriptionist, so they were bringing in some good money.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, I'm going to write the pharmacies, you're going to fill them.
I think she, like, transcribed, like, doctor notes or something.
That sounds hard.
I don't really, yeah. I don't, like, she had to
It's like-
fucking be able to read handwriting of doctors.
I don't know what this one says.
Yeah, we're fucked.
What are your symptoms? Maybe I can figure it out.
Maybe I could just, diagnose you.
Prescribe something.
It'll be easier than me trying to figure out whatever the fuck this homie wrote down on this notepad. Oh my God. But anyway, so the couple were bringing in decent money. Decent enough that they had a fucking custom home made.
Yeah, with a fucking abandoned horse that they rehabbed.
Lady.
What a beautiful little lady.
I know. The family had a traditional life. They went to Florida Gator games. They played sports casually throughout school. They played video games and, went to public school and shit.
Normal life. Gators games. Got it.
Yep. Jason, who is the firstborn child that wasn't Chad's, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had already moved out and for college and shit by the time that Cody and Grant were in high school.
Okay.
So his 2 younger brothers are in high school. He's older, so he moved out. Cody and Grant joined weightlifting together in high school, and they became really close. Like, they would hang out all the time in the weight room with all their friends and all that shit. They had the same friend group, and they did, everything together.
Okay.
Jason never came back home after he left for college, and he ended up meeting his wife, and he became the father to her daughters, similar to, what Chad did with his mom. Yeah, exactly.
He was like, this is fucking perfect.
Yeah, this is how I live my life.
Yeah, pre-made family. Let's go.
Exactly. Cody and Grant decided that they would both become nurses / anesthesiologists.
Okay.
And they went to college together.
Okay.
Literally, they would sit next to each other in some of the classes.
And they're like, we're fucking best friends.
Best buds.
Got it.
I always imagine them as, twins or something.
Right.
And all of the times I imagine them, I always imagine them as twins.
You've probably imagined them more than I have so far.
Well, imagine it. What would you think? Twins?
Yeah. Yeah, Cody's kind of a dick.
Why Cody? Oh, we got bad blood with the name Cody. Cody, it's nothing against you, man. Peggy and Chad understood that both of their sons would be focusing a lot on their medical education, and so they happily allowed them to live at home, rent-free and everything. As long as you're going to school and doing your thing, we got your back.
Hell yeah. That's good parenting.
Right? Cody flawlessly completed his education.
Oh, okay. Flawlessly.
Flawlessly.
Fucking humble brag.
Fucking flying colors.
He was like, that wasn't even hard.
I'm going to be a doctor now. I'm just going to put people to sleep.
Oh, no.
No, but he did really well, and he was practicing being a nurse / anesthesiologist or whatever by 2017.
Okay.
Grant didn't do as well. So
It's hard.
Yeah, it's
I've
hard.
heard. I didn't try.
Yeah, I didn't either. I did do, certified nursing assistant, and that wasn't as hard.
But it's still hard.
Yeah, I guess it's hard work.
Yeah.
But, that's true.
The tests and shit, that's gotta be hard.
The tests were hard.
Yeah, you gotta learn, chemistry and shit.
Not fucking shit. And you're like, God, that's a big-ass word.
That's a big ass. I can't even say that.
Yeah, right?
What are you gonna be? An anesthesia.
I can't even say the word.
You can't be one then.
I hope nobody asks me what I do for a living. Anesthesiologist.
You know the guy that puts people to sleep? That's me.
I do that shit. You wouldn't understand, so I won't say the word.
Yeah, I won't use big words around you.
Yeah, you're not smart enough.
You fucking layman.
Yeah, idiot. Oh, God. So, like I said, Grant didn't do as well, and he didn't pass his nursing exams.
Oh, no.
And so he had to wait to take it again. And then in like 2012, he ends up passing. And then he went on to graduate school to become an anesthesiologist. And then he ended up dropping out of graduate school in 2016. So he's licensed to be a nurse, but not an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
So Grant gets a job at a hospital, and he's working away, living his best life as a nurse.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chad's raking in the money as an anesthesiologist.
Hell yeah.
The family was thriving and doing well.
They have so much access to drugs.
So much access to drugs. Chad and Peggy had purchased a home in Tennessee because they were preparing for their retirement.
Oh, okay.
So they get this like beautiful home in Tennessee on all this land, and they would travel there monthly to do maintenance on the house because I guess they had a wild hog problem.
You know how that's a thing?
I guess in Tennessee it is, man. And it was like, it kept tearing up their house. And
Like inside?
I don't know.
Outside?
Like eating the fucking doorsteps? I have no
What?
fucking idea.
What do feral hogs eat? I would assume like their garden areas.
I'm thinking they're just like scratching their backs on the house, and they're like, God damn it, look at all this mud.
Tearing up the fucking house.
I have heard, though, that wild hogs are like really intense and dangerous and stuff.
I've heard they're really destructive as well.
Yeah, I wonder what they destroy, though. They just like eat doors?
Yeah, I thought it was like they destroy your outside shit. Like, don't have an outdoor trampoline. You know how you have those indoor ones? Keep them all indoor.
Maybe that's what it was. But I guess Chad was starting to get really stressed because he was spending a lot more money and time than he wanted to on this house to like maintain it because these fucking hogs.
I've watched way too many videos of them like trapping wild hogs.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Why?
TikTok, man. I don't know.
You have a weird algorithm. Will you send me one when you get one again? Because I haven't had a single one.
They're very interesting to me.
Okay. The plan was that Cody and Grant were going to keep living in their current home in Florida, and that the mom and dad, Peggy and Chad, would go live in Tennessee.
Okay.
Grant and Cody were super close, like I said, and they shared a love of video games, anime, and even planned a trip to Japan in December of 2018.
Look at them.
I know, like they were best fucking friends.
That's
okay?
cool.
Cody and Grant also made a goal to buy matching BMWs because, like, they're like, we're going to go to school, become nurses, do anesthesiology, and then we're going to fucking have matching BMWs. Twins. Cody saved enough money to get a BMW, but Grant didn't. So,
Well.
I know. So, Cody had decided that he was going to wait to buy his BMW until Grant could. Like, they were going to do it together.
Oh, okay.
Once they were old enough, Cody and Grant joined an airsoft gun team and owned several actual guns, like in real life. So, like, shooting is a thing in their family.
Like real guns, not airsoft guns?
Yeah, like, they've been shooting airsoft guns since they were little, but then, like, also the family has real guns on their property. It's fucking Florida, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know?
unheard of. And they're moving to Tennessee. It sounds like you're going to need those guns with your wild hog problem.
Fucking seriously. Better fucking put those up in a tree somewhere so you have them at all times.
In case you get treed by a wild hog, you'll have a fucking firearm up there.
Little cash.
Don't worry about it.
I'm always locked in
This
the
is the tree I was planning on getting treed in. Thank God it wasn't that tree.
And now, at this time, Jason lives in another town outside of Orlando with his wife and the 2 teenage daughters.
Okay.
And Chad and Peggy referred to Jason's daughters as their granddaughters, so they also, like, adopted them in the family as their own.
Love it.
Jason's family only spent holidays with Chad and Peggy, and they were only around for those, like, 3 to 4 times a year. So they didn't go visit or anything like that.
Got it.
However, Peggy and Jason talked on the phone every week, and they would catch up on their lives, so they were still close.
Love it.
In June of 2018, Grant was suspended and then fired from his nursing job because he was stealing medication.
Can't do that.
Propofol,
Propofol.
more specifically. Like the kind that, isn't that what like Michael Jackson was given?
I was like, where have I heard that?
Yeah. So it, like fucking puts you to sleep.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, is that recreational? Or are you
I
like,
would not imagine so.
anyway.
Like, I just want to go to bed tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're really lame at a party, friend.
Yeah. This doesn't sound fun.
Right? And also he was caught stealing other medication.
Yeah. You can't do that, especially not at a place you work, you know?
No. They found 8 empty vials in a room that only Grant had been in.
Oh.
And he had told investigators that he was giving extra to patients that were, quote, not properly relaxed without doctor's approval. Fuck that.
Not properly relaxed.
I don't know if I believe it. You know?
I'm not properly relaxed.
Can I have some?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It means he was taking them, right? And he's
I'm
like, anyway, I
guessing.
gave Margaret 2 doses.
Yeah. I'm guessing because he's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
You would just be like, hey, doc, I don't think he's properly relaxed. I think he'd be
I
like,
think that's a medical term for it.
shut the fuck up. I'm the doctor. But anyway, Grant was arrested and he was booked for grand larceny.
Wow.
Cody, his brother, paid $8,000 for an attorney retention for Grant
Oh, my God.
on his behalf. But the hospital dropped the charges shortly after the arrest, probably because they didn't want it getting out that like a nurse was just like overdosing their patients.
Yeah, or possibly stealing
Yeah.
the medication.
Yeah, like
It's
that
not a
they're
good look
running
for a hospital.
shady gig.
Yeah.
It was hard for Grant to find a new job, allegedly because of his arrest.
That makes sense.
And he claimed that he had PTSD from being arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel sorry for you, bro.
Yeah.
Don't
Well, I have
steal.
PTSD from being arrested. Are
No.
you sure it's not because you were violently too high and then you got arrested and you were like, oh shit, what's happening?
This is different. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, that shit'll give you PTSD.
Oh, God. It wasn't long before Grant's funds all dried up from anything he ever fucking had, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't working or anything, and he ended up selling all of his guns for extra cash.
Okay.
So, that,
Not a good direction.
no, he ain't got no money. He thought real hard and decided that he wanted to try to become a professional Twitch gamer.
Okay.
So, his family felt really bad for him, and they understood what he was going through. This family is like the nicest family ever. For the
I
record.
guess.
And so they knew it was going to take time for his Twitch account or whatever to get bigger. And he kept saying he needed money to help advertise for the Twitch account. And so they were giving him money to help his Twitch account, to help him get big and famous game player dude.
Okay, I
Whatever, right?
realize we have a podcast, so it's hard to be like, it's
Ain't
not gonna
happen.
work.
Which we've been doing this for like 5 years. It's not going to work.
But we've been doing it for like 5 years, and it's really hard, and it's not gonna work. And also, like, I would never ask for funds from someone else to like, anyway, I'm going to do this full like, I won't even do this full time. I still have a job.
I know you paid for my nursing degree back there, but I'm going to scrap that idea and I'm just going to play video games all day.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Which I realize that's a lucrative job for some people.
For
but, like,
some people.
You have to be really good at video games and have a really good personality. And so far, I feel like
Yeah.
I don't really know how he was at video games.
But also, like, so is podcasting. That's really lucrative for some people. But you have to be, like, the one, you know,
Yeah.
that makes it, that is lucky
Yeah,
or whatever.
The golden goose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a job that you can be like, this is what I'm going to go do now and pay my rent with.
I know. And they bought all the equipment. They bought everything so he could do this.
Oh, my God.
I know. He would stay up all night playing video games and streaming, and then he'd sleep all day.
Oh, my God.
So in total, Grant was given thousands of dollars from his family members for this Twitch account.
And he has a house paid for.
Yeah, like he's not paying rent. I'm sure he's not buying groceries. Like,
Yeah.
he still lives with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Grant was struggling, and his family tried to be supportive and help him get him back on his feet. And they were compassionate and patient with him. All that stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? In November, the family discovered that Grant had been lying to everybody.
Weird.
And that the money that they gave him wasn't actually going towards advertising for his Twitch account. Because in July of 2018, after he got fired, Grant was like cruising around porn sites, whacking it.
As you do.
Yeah, exactly. Like when there's nothing else going on, I'm just going to jerk it. And he came across a website called myfreecams.com. And he saw the content of a lady named Sylvia Ventislovava.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Love it.
AKA Addie Sweet, I guess was her handle.
Okay.
Heads up, this is a warning from Critty that if you Google any of those names that I just said, you will see a very beautiful Bulgarian woman in her early 30s furiously masturbating. So you've been warned. AKA you're welcome. Depending on...
I was going to say, everyone's
we're
asking
talking
for a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have the links?
Evidently, it's myfreecams.com.
Also, I'm a little bit sad that her last name is Ventislavova and she didn't go by like Volva's Volva.
Yeah, I know, right?
Or
Like
like-
Addie Sweet. Maybe
Play
it's
on
80
words
C.
here, you know?
1D.
80? Addie?
I don't know. So Grant soon discovered that you can have Sylvie, her nickname,
Have her.
actually talk to you. I didn't finish that sentence.
Oh, okay. I was like, to own and to hold?
To have forever. No, you can have her talk to you for money, obviously.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
pay her and the cam girl will talk to you.
Yeah.
So Grant would buy 5,000 My Free Cam tokens
Okay.
for $599.99
What?
because it costs 90 tokens per minute to talk to her. So that's $10.80 a minute is what this girl was getting paid to like talk to Grant. And that's what he was using the money on. Like, not advertising. He was like, I need more tokens because I need to talk to this cam girl.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You know, there's people on like just regular Twitch
That just
are
like
doing
want
the same
to
thing.
talk.
Yeah,
I know, right? Without
Yeah.
90 tokens.
Oh my God.
So for 90 tokens, you would be admitted to her quote room where you could watch her masturbate quote live.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was also a chat room feature. So you would go in there and
Talk to all the other pervies in there.
that are paying her $10.80 a minute to fucking feverishly masturbate. I feel like we're in the wrong business, honestly.
Honestly.
The amount of money I can make.
Brandon has said that so many times. It's like, if you guys just didn't have a podcast, you tried something else. I'm like, no.
I don't want to. So Grant made several fellow masturbator friends in these chat rooms. Isn't it weird? They're just like, hey guys, you like beating it to this chick? Me too. I'm beating her right now. Anyway, what's your name?
Is your dick out while you're typing to me?
Yeah, don't touch your dick. It's like a courtesy. Like,
Yeah.
You better not be touching your dick right now. Anyway, so Grant invented an online persona of himself as a successful professional Twitch streamer, and he told his new jerk-off buddies and Sylvie that he owned his own home in Florida and that he drove a BMW because he was doing so well on his Twitch gaming.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm this rich, fancy guy, and I have no problem getting a girl, even though I'm paying you $10.80 a minute for my presence
That is so
online.
fucking expensive.
It was so much money.
Also, multiple people in the room all paying that. That means she's getting like
So
fucking
much money.
$40 a minute.
Dude, that's if 4 people are there.
Yeah.
$40 a minute. Get 10 people in there. You got $100 a minute.
That's insane.
We are in the wrong business.
We really
Can you
are.
feverishly masturbate?
I mean, for $100 a minute,
Furiously?
furiously,
Fucking clit is
feverishly,
broken.
violently.
Sweating. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
For $100 a minute.
I mean, for $100 a minute, I probably
You
could.
do it for 10 minutes.
That sounds like so much work.
That's a lot of minutes, actually.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I
But
could
for
do 10
$1,000
minutes.
bucks,
Just saying, 10 minutes.
it's just gonna be raw. If you're furiously,
Yeah,
depends. I don't know.
you gotta make it last longer.
Yeah, I guess
so you can get all those minutes out of
Fucking
them.
fake some of it and be gentle. You don't want to raw dog that shit. Anyway, okay. So basically, the point of the story is he's getting money from his parents and his brother because they believe in him
to pay Sylvia
to pay Sylvie to jerk it on camera or to diddle it on camera.
Yeah.
By November, Grant was spending an upwards of 4 hours on the My Free Cam website, which was $2,600 a day. He was convinced that Sylvie was his girlfriend,
Jesus Christ.
and he would send her like lingerie and sex toys and like extra tips just because.
Is this a mental illness too?
I think it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Yeah. It's an
Yeah.
addiction.
And he thinks that they're together. I'm sure she's playing into it because she's getting a fuck ton of money from him.
Oh, of course. I won't put blame on her because, like, girl, do what you gotta do.
You gotta get that money.
Yeah. And I guess if people are willing to pay it, then that is what it is. But also, like, he can't afford to pay it. So.
Yeah, and he's taking it from other people.
That's pretty fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up. So Chad and Peggy were horrified to discover that that's where all their money
they've
was
been
going to.
Paying fucking Sylvie
Yeah.
to furiously masturbate.
Exactly. And I guess Grant would steal their credit cards and use it without them knowing.
Oh my God.
And then he would open credit cards in their name and like max out the credit limits.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he took out a loan on their Florida home. That's not good.
Dude.
Yeah.
Sylvie was like, fuck yeah.
She made Like, he estimated that he paid her like $200,000 or something insane from other people's money.
Oh my God.
That's not like 10 grand or something. That's like someone's
No.
entire life savings.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even their savings. It was like
that was the house they were
taking a
still
loan.
living in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maxing out their credit cards.
Exactly. So Cody, his brother, had discovered that Grant had also used his credit and information to get additional funds too. So he stole his identity also. His best fucking friend.
He's like, it's one thing if you do that shit to mom and dad.
But he did it to his brother. And like I said, in total, over $200,000 were stolen in just 5 months.
Jesus.
That chick has got to be so fucking rich. That's all I could think of.
Jesus.
The family all came together and they decided that they needed to help Grant.
Have an intervention?
Yes, and they diagnosed him as like an online porn addict, right?
They did, like, themselves?
Yeah.
They were
they're
like,
this
by
is-
my calculations.
It wasn't like medically whatever. They're like, he's got a problem. We need to help him. We need
Yeah.
to do everything we can to help him. Yes, we're mad about the money, but more importantly, we want to make sure that he's safe and healthy and okay.
Wow, those are good parents.
This family is like the nicest family ever.
Because I would have been like,
You suck.
I
Later.
have some choice words for you.
Yeah, and also
And they're going to
Give
be
me my money.
traumatic.
Yeah.
And you're not going to like
go take out some fucking credit under your name and pay me back.
me. Yeah.
So remember how Cody and Grant are so close? They like video games and anime and everything, and they were planning a Japan trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the Japan trip. So it comes up December 1st.
Oh, they're still going on it?
They're still going on
I thought
it.
they couldn't afford this now.
Oh, they're still going on it. Grant can't afford it. Cody's footing the bill for everything.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
he's an anesthesiologist, so he's making decent money.
Yeah, for sure. But like,
Yeah, no, they're nice.
your
Yeah.
buddy here, your
Yeah.
homie, can't pay
Yeah, this is a lifelong dream, Aaron.
even part of his shit. I would pay for you to do this lifelong dream with us, but if you stole from me like a shit ton of
An
money,
identity. Even if you were mentally ill, I'd be like, I don't want to be with you anymore. You suck.
well, I might even be like, wow, okay, this is a problem, but I'm not going to pay for a trip then.
You don't deserve to be gifted anything.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'd be real wary about my money around you, you know?
But from Cody's perspective, he wanted to do this trip with his best friend brother, and he thought it would be good for Grant to get away from everything that was happening at home. Like, dude, you've had a rough 5 months. Like, you got fired, all at his doing. But Cody
Yeah.
is like going compassionate, right? Like, you got fired, you think you have a girlfriend online? Like, oh my god,
Shit,
now
I
we gotta get
know
away. Yeah,
who you are.
exactly.
Which she probably does because
Yeah.
it's a big spender, you know, high roller rooms.
Right? So Cody footed a $10,000 bill for him to go to Japan and everything. And he made sure to keep a really close eye on Grant and his internet use. So he was like never allowed to leave. It sounds like a lot of work, but I guess Cody kept an eye on Grant the entire time. And they brought a friend with them, like on this trip. And the friend was like, yeah, like in retrospect, it is kind of weird that like if Grant ever wandered off, Cody would be like, where is he? And like would like make sure, like literally anywhere they went, Cody had to be with Grant at all times.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good fucking brother. So they had gone to Japan for 2 weeks, and the friend's name was Jericho, by the way.
Oh,
And Jericho thought that everything was totally normal until the last day when Cody got into the shower and Grant, like to shower, right? And Grant had told Jericho that he was going to go to the hotel lobby real quick because he wanted to grab something to eat. And Jericho was like, that's normal, whatever, bye. Like, I didn't know that I had to keep an eye on this dude. And so Cody gets out of the shower and immediately notices that Grant's gone. And he asks Jericho, like, where's Grant? And Jericho's like, oh, he ran down to go get some food. And Cody was like, fuck, you know? And then, like, he gets dressed really fast. And then he goes to the hotel lobby looking for his brother.
He's not there.
Well, he finds Grant at a casino on his Surface Pro on the My Free campsite attempting to contact Sylvie.
Ah!
Yeah. He's like, I miss my girlfriend.
Oh my God!
Right? The interesting thing about it all is, though, that I think he did get to talk to Sylvie on the My Cams because Jericho found out a few weeks later or a couple days later or something, I don't know, that
He had stolen his card.
exactly
Oh,
Grant had stolen his card.
motherfucker.
Because Jericho wanted to go to dinner and pay for it, and his credit card got declined. And then when he looked at it, it was like a family credit card
Yeah.
that his parents paid for, which I'm like, dude, I need friends like this. I need my
Yeah.
parents to pay for shit like that. But anyway, that his parents paid for it, and it had got declined. So he called his dad, and his dad's like, yeah, there's 2 charges to this porn site. And it got canceled after the first charge. Like, the first charge went through and then they canceled it. And then he later found out that it was Grant. And he's, like, trying to tell his dad, like, I didn't buy
It wasn't
this.
me.
Yeah.
It was a friend.
Talk about a nightmare.
Oh, my God.
So, after returning from Japan, Grant discovered that his parents had gone through his computer and everything. Because I guess his dad, Chad, was, like, really good at hacking into shit.
Yeah, the
And
mainframe.
they contacted Sylvie and told her what was going on. Was like,
And she was like, yeah, I know.
yeah, like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, Grant's
Bitch,
been
I got paid.
lying about all of this, and please don't contact him anymore. Like, he's stolen all of our information. Like, everything you have was stolen.
Yeah.
Basically. I don't
Can
know
you
that,
give it back?
I don't think she ever replied to anything. But
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, ooh,
Hell
that
no.
sounds like somebody else's problem.
yeah, like, I still performed a service. and
Yeah.
you still paid me.
Furiously.
They were also horrified to discover on this computer that Grant had given Sylvie their home address, and she sent him, like, Christmas cards and shit. So she was playing into it. Like,
Yeah.
her best customer. Of course
Yeah,
she was.
Of course.
They also told her that, like, Grant's not allowed to talk to her anymore. Which is, like, this guy's,
You
like...
guys have to break up.
Yeah, he's, like, in his 29s or something at this point.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
God. So Grant finds out about this when he gets back from Japan, and he loses his shit. Dad, how could you tell my girlfriend? Yeah, don't go through my stuff. Which I'm sure they paid for. Like,
Yeah,
that's
right?
a computer your mom and dad bought. It's
Yeah.
not yours.
Yeah.
So Grant leaves home in the middle of the night without telling his parents where he went.
Mm-hmm.
They would later
teach
say
him.
that he, quote, ran away. But again, he's like 29 years old. So can you really say that he ran away?
No, he
But-
just chose to go.
Exactly. They eventually report him missing to the police because they're worried about him.
Mhm.
Like, he's depressed. He's a danger to himself. Please go make sure you find him.
Yeah.
So the police go looking, and they end up finding him at his Aunt Donna's house. And Aunt Donna is Chad's sister. So Dad's sister.
Okay.
And that's like an hour away from his house. So Grant had told Aunt Donna that his dad was being controlling and that his mom was smothering him and that he just needed a break from them. But
Okay.
didn't tell her about all this webcam shit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That'd be so embarrassing.
Anyway, they turned off all my cards because they're so overbearing. Can I borrow yours?
Exactly. So it took Donna a few days for her to see the charges on those cards, but that's exactly what he did. Grant had taken photos of credit cards from the family. So, like, Aunt Donna, uncle, grandma and grandpa, cousins, anyone he came in contact with, he'd somehow get their information and take pictures of it. And like I said, it took a couple days for Aunt Donna to realize, like, oh my God, Grant stole my fucking information.
Oh
and
my
she
God.
was like, fuck that. Get the fuck out of my house. I'm going to press charges. Now, Chad was like begging her not to press charges against Grant.
Yeah.
And then Cody was like, I'll pay you for my brother's misdoings. Like, for whatever he owes you, I'll pay you. Like, the family, again, is enabling this.
Oh my God.
And, like, you know, trying to keep him out of trouble. Like, trying to keep Grant out of trouble. So Chad had eventually admitted to Donna that Grant had stolen so much money that he had to remortgage his home and postpone his retirement by a few years because he had to pay all the shit back.
Oh my God.
I know. And he was like, please I just don't want him going to jail. Please. Like, don't. And so she didn't.
Wow.
Mhm.
Jail might be helpful at a certain point,
Honestly,
though, right?
I think he needs it. So on December 22nd of 2018, Chad, Peggy, Cody, and Jason all go to Aunt Donna's house. So the whole family, where Grant is, right?
Yeah.
And they have an intervention with Grant.
Good.
And they're like, okay, we need to fix this.
At
You
Aunt
have an
Donna's
addiction.
house.
Yeah. And Aunt Donna's like happy to host it, right?
And Aunt Donna's like, furiously, you say.
Yeah. What's her name again? I mean, I already paid for it.
I know, right?
I see what it's about. Now, at first, when Grant walked into his intervention, he was super angry, but he eventually, like, agreed with the family and everything, and that, like, I do have a porn addiction.
It's the only way you can get out of it.
Yeah, and then he agrees to go to a rehab clinic.
Okay.
And this rehab clinic is one that Peggy had found after looking for a counselor to talk to him and everything. So, like, they're doing all the legwork.
Wow.
It's not like they have somebody there to do it for them.
Yeah. She was like, I've seen the show. I could probably pull it off.
Exactly. On January 4th, 2019, Grant was released from rehab, which was after only 11 days in rehab.
Okay.
And he told his family that the counselor there had said that he was just in a little rut and that he didn't actually need the full treatment program.
This doesn't sound like a counselor talking.
It doesn't. And Cody had paid $15,000 up front for a 60-day rehab treatment plan. And he didn't get that money
How
back.
many $1,000? 15?
Yeah, 15.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he didn't get that money back. Like,
You
Grant
gotta
just, like,
stay.
left. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Chad wrote up a contract, his dad, for Grant, and he said, there's some options we can do here, right? Like, if you're not going to go to treatment, here's what we can do. You can stay at home with us, and you can follow all of the rules that I have outlined. You can join the military, or you can get the fuck out. Like, those are your options.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, Grant agrees to live at home under all these stipulations. And the stipulations were, I know, that he needed to have a day job. He couldn't have a smartphone or connection to internet of any kind. And he couldn't use the internet past midnight. And there's this whole detailed list. Now, I guess Chad was really known for being very organized, and like he would make these lists, and then like as he would talk to people, he would like make comments on the list of like almost like a meeting minutes.
Okay.
So he was kind of like very, I wouldn't say controlling, but like very type A organized kind of thing. So
Okay.
like there is this list that eventually gets put into evidence of this conversation, and you can see like he circles like he chooses to live at home. You know, like that kind of
Option
stuff.
A.
Now, Chad and Peggy took Grant to the California Pizza Kitchen to review the contract with them.
CPK.
Yeah. And to decide what they're going to do from there. First of all, homie left rehab, and you're about to get a free fucking lunch at
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. At California Pizza Kitchen. You get
Yeah.
free fucking pizza.
No.
Now all you got to do is sign this contract and be like, yeah, for sure, I'm not going to talk to her anymore.
Totally.
Winky, winky.
I'm going to listen to everything you say because I didn't get away with it before.
Right? So his parents were literally trying everything to help him.
That's so sad.
On January 14th, Cody posted a picture of everything that he needed to make a new computer rig for a virtual reality setup on his Instagram account. Like his brother takes this picture and is like super excited because he was going to do this setup and play virtual reality with Grant. That's like what the message was.
Okay.
So Cody was doing his best to keep Grant positive, and they were getting into like VR gaming, and Cody was making sure that they're hanging out with their friends all the time and staying healthy. So really Cody is like,
Taking him under his wing.
yeah, pulling for the team here. Around this time, Grant and Cody go out to dinner, and then they go to a friend's house to go play video games. I think it's Jericho's house. I could be wrong, but it is a friend's house. And they're
Okay.
playing video games, and while they're there, Grant says he has to use the restroom. I think Cody did also. But
He's
anyway,
like, we can cross streams, so you're not
exactly.
alone.
Like 2 people had to use the restrooms. So the friend told Grant, you can go in my room, in the master bedroom, and you could use that bathroom.
No.
And so he does.
Doesn't he know?
I don't think he really knows. I don't know. Maybe he does.
Well,
but it's a
Cody
bathroom
should be
break.
like, it's cool. You can take the guest.
Yeah. Like, don't go anywhere. I can't see you.
Yeah, I'll go in the main bathroom.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to bring your klepto friend around,
Right?
warn your friends.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
by
my
the way,
God.
he's got sticky fucking fingers.
Watch out.
Yeah.
So on January 24th, 2019, it starts like any other day. Chad gets up and goes to work in Orlando as the telehealth pharmacist for CVS.
Mm-hmm.
Peggy got up and she worked from home in her office that she had set up in the like dining room area, living room area.
Okay.
Grant got up and he watched YouTube on the couch all day.
Fucking living the dream.
Living the dream. So according to Grant, he, quote, hung out and watched YouTube all day. And then his mom said that she was going to make chicken stir fry after work. And so she pulled some chicken out and put it on the counter to thaw.
Mm-hmm.
He then said that his dad came home around 5:30 p.m. and confronted him about trying to talk to Sylvie on Twitter with his mom's phone. So I guess, according to Grant, his mom would let him borrow his phone because after all, they're in love.
Mm-hmm. My
to
God,
talk
no.
to Sylvie.
But
I don't
only
know.
on Twitter because you can't pay or you don't pay.
Only on Twitter and through his mom's phone. It was like, quote unquote, like, you know, monitored
Supervised.
in
Yeah.
some way. But the mom kept saying, like, don't overdo it because I'll tell your dad that you're doing it. You know, like, I'm doing this for you. This is according to Grant. So, I mean, Grant's also a liar. Like,
Yeah.
he fucking steals shit. I
But
don't really
like
know.
as a mother, I
Yeah.
understand the want to like make your child happy, and you know that they're so distraught because they can't talk to this person, and you're like, it's just talking, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Like I can understand where she's coming from with that, but like that's such a fucking slippery slope, right?
I'm from the perspective of, like, he's lying. Like, he was probably stealing her phone. And he got busted for it. And he's like, my mom said I could. you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
anyway,
So he's a 29-year-old child.
yeah, but that's speculation here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Grant says that his dad got so pissed when he found out that he was still talking to Sylvie, because at this point it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we've
right?
done all the fucking things.
I told you got to get the fuck out.
Also, you signed a fucking contract. I'll bet rule number 1 was don't talk to Sylvie.
100%. Like, no matter what. She
Yeah.
is not your girlfriend.
Yeah, so that makes me think the mom wasn't like, we can bend some rules.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have a problem.
Like, she knows, right?
Yeah.
So Grant says his dad grabbed him by the shirt and told him to pack up his shit and get the fuck out of the house. Like,
Fair.
that is paraphrasing, but you know.
Yeah.
According to Grant, it took him 3 hours to pack his things, and then he left in his 1996 white Honda Accord, and he parked down the street, like on the side of the road,
Mm-hmm.
and he was waiting for his brother Cody to come over or something, and he wanted to stop him on the side of the street and have his conversation. So evidently they did. They run into each other, and while they're talking, Grant tells Cody everything that happened, and Cody tells him, like, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of this. Gives Grant his credit card and says, like, go take care of yourself for the night, whatever, right? Like, go do what you got to do.
What?
This is according to Grant. Just remember,
Okay.
Grant is a fucking liar.
Okay.
He steals shit.
Okay.
But this is according to Grant. This is what we have, okay? So he says, go take care of everything. So Grant then, like, after meeting up with his brother, he goes to a Publix parking lot, which I guess is like a grocery store.
Yeah.
And he stays in the parking lot for the night. Now, later on, we know that while he was in that parking lot, Grant purchased 5,000 tokens with Cody's debit card on his Surface Pro, and he went to sleep. But he also talked to Sylvie. We
Yeah.
know later. Like, he spent those tokens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did that at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The next morning, on January 25th, Grant had a job interview, I guess.
Good for
and
him.
So he did the interview, and the company says that he showed up, like, really cleanly dressed. He didn't seem like... But it didn't seem like he just slept in a car all night long or anything like that, and he actually scored pretty high in the interview. Like, he was doing really well. He said that after the interview, he drove past his home, like where his parents lived, and he saw a news van outside, and then he just left, and then he used Cody's credit card to check into a motel.
Ain't no fucking way.
Meanwhile, that same morning that Grant had the interview and everything, back at his parents' house, the cops had been called to perform a wellness check.
Mm-hmm.
A wellness check, you say? I will tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, the brother, was always super early for his shift as an anesthesiologist. And they would work like 16-hour shifts or some shit. And they started at 7 and worked till 11, but they were allowed to clock in 1 hour early. I don't know why, but I guess a lot of times, too, they wanted to work those hours because after 8 hours, you got time and a half.
Okay.
So, like, very desired hours.
Yeah.
And Cody was always known for clocking in early. Like, he was always there at 6 o'clock. The moment he could clock in early, he'd be there.
Yeah.
And he was like the star at his job. Like, people would reach out to him if they had any questions, and he'd always get back to them right away on his own personal phone, like was texting coworkers and stuff. Like, it was very rare for him not to be at work. Definitely out of the, like, character to be a no-call, no-show, right?
Yeah.
So his coworker gets in at like 7 or whatever and clocks in. Cody's not there already, and he's like, that's kind of weird. And another coworker stops him in the hallway like, hey, have you seen Cody? And she seemed pretty concerned, and he's like, no, maybe he's just not in yet. Like, it's still early. Like, he doesn't have to clock in until 7. This is a little bit before 7. And then 7 rolls around, and he runs into that coworker again, and that coworker's like, dude, something's up. That's not normal for Cody to not be here.
Yeah.
And the coworker was like, well, I can text him. So he shoots him a text, and they both have iPhones, and so you know how usually it's blue, like the message will be blue. Well, it showed up green, and so this guy was like, oh, his phone is off or dead or something. And again, he's like, this so isn't like Cody, because he would always have it charged. He always had it on him, especially during a shift.
Yeah.
And he'd always answer right away. So then he tries to call him a couple of times, and it just goes to voicemail. He doesn't get any kind of answer. So then eventually they start calling the mom and the dad. I don't know if it was like they got a hold of Cody's girlfriend and she did it, but however it goes, they try to get a hold of the parents and they can't get a hold of them either. So then that coworker calls the police by 9 o'clock in the morning and is like, can you please do a wellness check? I'm worried about my coworker. This isn't like him, and nobody in the family's answering. Can you make sure they're okay? Another thing to note is the night before, so I think this is also what kind of tipped the crew off to something being amiss, is the night before was extra slow at work. and Cody was working. And so whenever it's extra slow, people had to go home, and they would always first ask, does anybody want to like volunteer? And nobody did. So then the next thing they do is they draw names out of a hat. And so they drew a name, and Cody's name got picked. And so that meant at 9:30 he would go home. But before his shift, he was like on the phone at like 9:15 or something, and he was clearly like upset, and he had said something about like he had to go check on his parents or something, like there was some bullshit going on. Something was going on, and he needed to go to his parents' house. And then he left early, like by 15 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
So he left early. So it like stuck in their head, and they're like, okay, go check at the parents' house. That's where he said he was going last.
Yeah.
So the police get to the house, and they start to knock, and nobody answers. And so they start banging on the doors and the window, like banging.
Yeah,
And they're
doing that
yelling
cop
Cody's
knock.
name. Yeah, they're yelling so loud that one of the neighbors speculates that they heard the banging, because he reported later in a police report that he heard like popping noise or something that could have possibly been a gun being fired inside of a home, but he doesn't know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But initially he did not think it was gunshots. He was like, I just heard a weird sound at 9 o'clock in the morning, and now they're speculating that was probably the police banging on the house.
Yeah.
So they're banging, they're calling Cody's name, they're calling Peggy and Chad, and nobody's answering. They see that Cody's car is in the driveway still, and so they're like, I think this is enough concern for us to go inside, and they get the clearance to go inside, and one of the police officers gets a knife and like jimmies the deadbolt open with the knife in the backyard, like the back door.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get it open, there's like a bookshelf or something blocking the door, and so they had to kind of like push it out of the way. And also the windows were papered up or like covered up. It was never really addressed or anything anywhere as to why, or if that was normal. Maybe they just didn't use that door, but it also seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I was just going to mention it because it's kind of weird. They even get on the bullhorn and they're like, Cody, open the door, or whatever, before they try all this. And nobody's fucking answering. So they're like, okay, we're going to go in. They go in, they find the bookshelf and everything. And as they walk in, they immediately find Chad, Peggy, and Cody all dead in the home from gunshot wounds.
Oh my God.
Gunshot wounds. So Peggy was found shot in the back of the head at her work desk in the dining room. So she didn't even know that she was murdered. Like, she was working away, and her killer snuck up behind her and shot her and killed her.
Oh my God.
The raw chicken that she had pulled out for dinner was still sitting on the counter. So, like, she never made it to dinner. They checked the activity on her computer, and the last activity was at 4:44 p.m. the day before. So that's speculating that that's when she was murdered.
Yeah.
Either that or she sat there for hours and didn't touch her keyboard. But, you know,
Yeah.
just
Staring
4:44,
at it.
she was murdered. Yeah. Chad was found, the dad was found face up in the kitchen, and he was shot twice in the head from the back of the head, and he was found face up in the kitchen. Immediately, investigators recognized that Chad had not died from his initial gunshot wound, because he had two. So the first one was fired. He lived through it because you could see where he was shot. I guess he was like putting groceries away or something in a cabinet. So like the way that the bullet had shot, it like his head had to have been looking up when he was shot.
Uh-huh.
And then he lived, fell to the ground, and like was trying to crawl around or crawl away, and it left blood everywhere. And like his handprints of blood, his hands were covered in blood. His whole front was covered in blood. It was a fucking massacre in that kitchen.
Oh my God.
Like, he was either trying to escape his killer, or like, it reminds me of that one story you told where the guy got like hit with the axe or something and had no idea and was just like wandering around getting the mail or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm speculating here, like either running away from his killer or still fucking shimmying around the goddamn kitchen. It was clear, like I said, that the bullet wound had come from the back of his head, but he was lying face up, so he was either moved himself around or he was moved by the killer. Chad also had his gun holstered into his pants, but it was backwards. So like he was a right-handed shooter. So the gun was like kind of going across his belly, right? So like if you were a left-handed shooter, it'd be a cross draw. You would grab it and you could shoot. But he was a known right-handed shooter, so it'd be like really awkward. You'd have to like twist your arm a funky kind of way to try to pull it out. And you'd be pointing the gun at yourself as you do it.
Yeah.
So like nobody would actually wear the gun that way. Also, like I said, like there was blood all over him.
He had been moved around,
but
possibly.
it wasn't on the gun at all. So like speculating that it was placed by the killer afterwards to make it look like he was carrying when he was murdered. You know, like, oh, self-defense or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, they found that the holster was clipped on, like, not the right way. Like, somebody just, like, did it. And that there were actually blood splatters under the holster, so he wasn't wearing it when he was shot.
Okay, that's a really weird
Staging thing, and
yeah.
that you wouldn't take 2 extra seconds to do it the right fucking way.
Well, it's probably hard to move a body around, and you don't think someone's going to look at it that close.
I mean, there's going to be an investigation, my friend. You can at least put the gun the right way.
True.
He's a nurse. Like, he's got to be somewhat intelligent. I guess common sense you can't learn from a book, huh?
No, exactly.
Like, there's not a book on how to holster.
And he failed his anesthesia isotopes or
so
whatever.
He's not that smart.
So he's not that smart.
Yeah. Not that smarticus at all. So the brother, Cody, he was found shot below the eye, and his body was found in the fetal position near the doorway he would have entered coming into the home to check on whatever. Like, you know.
So, like, immediately when he walked in the door.
Like, he didn't make it into the house and his fucking...
That's your best friend.
He saw
brother,
who
twin.
murdered him when he opened the door. Hello. So he knew. He knew who it was. He's facing the killer.
How fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad at
Fucking
you.
awful. He was still wearing his scrubs from the night before, so he had left work to go to his parents' house. Now, it's not clear if he had talked to, so the story goes, that he had told his girlfriend, like, my dad contacted me, or I talked to my dad, or my dad's trying to contact me for some bullshit going on at home, and I have to go to their house first.
Yeah.
So it's not clear if it was Grant pretending to be the dad, or if the dad really did talk to him, or whatever.
I feel like
But 9:30...
Cody would be able to tell the difference between Grant and his dad.
Well, unless it was text message.
Oh, true.
So here's what I'm thinking. So based on the timelines, and I'm piecing together some stories here, and I'm sure this is probably pieced together later, Critty, because you killed it, but we're spitballing. Mom's killed at 4:45.
Mm-hmm.
Grant had said in his interview or whatever on what he did that day that at 5:30 his dad came home. And you know how they always say there's a little bit of truth in every lie or whatever? So I wonder if he really did get home at 5:30 and that's when dad was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like putting groceries away or something. He didn't realize that his wife was dead at the table right next to whatever. And then the moment the dad comes in, Grant just shoots him. Or the killer, but we all know it's Grant.
Yeah.
And then he pretends to be his dad, and I don't know, though. I'll tell you why I don't know. Let me continue. Because he uses his dad's phone later, and he has a hard time getting into it, and there's, like, evidence of that.
Okay, yeah.
But then he doesn't call. He gets that call at, like, 9:15, or that text message or whatever at, like, 9:15. So I wonder if Grant called and was like, you got to get over here. Dad's being crazy. He's kicking me out. I need your help. And he's like, I need to come over.
I got to go to my parents' house.
Yeah. I wonder. Anyway, that's all speculation. Either which way, Cody's coming to check on what's going on, and before he can even get in the door, his brother shoots him.
And he was lured there.
He was lured there. Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
So, the shell casings that were found at the scene matched Cody's gun, the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, next to Cody was his gun. So, the whole family fucking carried shit, right?
Okay.
So, next to him is Cody's gun, and it's speculated that it's staged to look like a suicide. Like, Cody killed his parents.
And then walked back to the front door and was like, let me pretend I'm walking in again.
Yeah.
Saw this.
Yeah.
And then killed myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
that
whatever.
makes sense. Totally. Yeah, no,
Obviously.
for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this whole thing makes sense.
Yeah.
So the bullet casings at the scene matched Cody's gun, but interestingly enough, all the bullets that were found from the actual murders matched a 9mm gun that no one in the home owned.
What?
Yeah.
How do the casings match?
So
Doesn't the bullet come out of the casing?
Yeah, the theory is that, because at this point, I'm just going to stop beating around the bush. We all know it was Grant, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're saying murder. I'm going to tell you all the reasons why it obviously was him, but you can piece it together because you have your own brain. But the theory is that Grant killed his brother, took Cody's gun, fires 4 shots out in the yard or whatever to get the casings, and plants them at the scene. But that he had used a different gun to do the murders. And that different
Because
gun...
Cody wasn't there yet.
Because Cody wasn't there yet. And that different gun came from that friend's house when he used the bathroom in the master bedroom. So this friend finds out, I don't know where he discovered this in terms of the timeline of all the events.
Yeah.
But this friend finds out that his gun is missing because he's doing some spring cleaning or whatever. And I guess when you walked into his room, the closet was right there. And he kept his gun in the closet in a gun thing. and bullets and stuff, and everything was there. And he testifies that Grant was in his room unsupervised for like 10 minutes at least. Like, they were playing a game, so he wasn't really keeping track or anything. Grant goes to the bathroom, sees this gun there. He's like, I'm gonna fucking take that. He's got sticky fingers. He also happened to have time to steal his fucking credit card information and everything like that.
Well, and he also had sold all of his guns before, so
Yeah, he needed a
presumably
gun.
he could steal the gun to sell it.
Exactly. And this was 2 weeks prior to the murders that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
The friend also noticed because he went to go move the box. He's like, oh shit, that gun box is really light. And so he looked in his ammo box, and he had this like repackaged range bullets that he would use, and they like come in like shrink wrap or something. And he said that it was torn open and that there were 6 bullets missing. He counted, it was like a pack of 100 and there were 94 left. And he was like, it immediately raised a red flag for me because I don't do that. Like, if I need, he had like an ammo box, and he would open the whole pack and dump it in there and then throw away the packaging. Like, he never just took a couple bullets
Yeah.
for the run.
That's
you know,
like
for
a
the road.
super squirrel, like digging through your shit, stealing stuff.
Exactly. And he said that he had a gun that he carried on him all the time, but that he used like way nicer bullets in that gun. Like, this was like junk bullets that he used for shooting. So he immediately notified the police. And that's when the police put together this whole like missing gun and this 9mm gun that was used. And by the way, they never recover the gun.
Oh.
So immediately the police, obviously they have a murder investigation on their hands, and they suspect either Grant or Jason. Those are obviously the next 2 closest people to the family. And so they got to investigate both, right?
Yeah, but it's probably the one with all like the turmoil and interventions and
Probably
stuff.
that one. Probably that one.
And that lives in state, but...
Yeah, but here we go. I mean, Jason lived in state too.
Oh, okay.
But
fair.
just like a couple hours or an hour or something away. I don't know. But Jason was questioned at his work and his home, and they searched his car and everything, and he was cleared. Like, he was out to lunch or dinner or something. Like, he had alibi. It wasn't Jason, clearly.
Yeah.
So that day, remember I told you that he went to his interview or whatever, and then he saw the news van, and then he went and checked himself into a hotel with Cody's card. Well, he had come out to his car to get like a drink of water or something, and the police were there. Actually, I think this is the next morning after all the murders and everything, the next morning, because it's January 26th.
Okay.
So the police stake out the hotel and they arrest him.
First of all, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Like, Grant,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, he thinks he's got this all figured out. So Grant voluntarily goes with the police.
It's like, yeah, what seems to be the problem, officer?
Yeah, and he gets interviewed for over 8 hours.
Yeah, as he fucking will.
And they ask him, they don't tell him anything that's going on.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask about anything that's going on. They're like, hey, are you Grant? And he's like, yeah, let me hop in your car. And like, we want to talk to you. He's like, great, I'd love talking.
What?
And then they never tell him that his whole fucking family's murdered or anything. And they start interviewing him, and they're asking him about his family history, his relationships, his interests, his hobbies. He talked openly and calmly about all of this, never once asking, why am I here? That's kind of weird for
an innocent person.
Yeah. He described his father, Chad, as controlling and violent, which is not backed by anything.
Yeah.
He described himself as his mother's, quote, favorite, and said that him and Cody were super close, and his older brother Jason was cool, but he lived in another town and he wasn't really around.
Yeah. So we have this picture-perfect family. Why?
Yeah.
What could possibly be wrong?
Yeah, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. He said that he had a girlfriend named Sylvie, and she was a cam model, and she lived in Bulgaria.
Oh, God.
Nearly 2.5 hours into the interview, the cop asks Grant, so, do you know why we picked you up to talk to you today? And he never once asked about his family or why the cops were talking to him. He started to say that he was, quote, freaked out and thinks that there may have been a shooting between his dad and his brother because his brother wanted to protect him. So Grant says that after the interview, he drove past his home, he saw the news van, and then he left, and he used his whatever credit card to check into the motel. He tells the police that when he had met his brother outside on the road that night, that his brother was basically heavily suggesting that I'm going to take care of it all. Like, I'm going to, quote, winky, winky, take care of mom and dad. And that Grant suspects that something terrible happened, and that's why he's talking to them. Like, I think this is why you're talking to me. Did my brother do something, right? The police press, and they're like, okay, well, if you're telling us that after you did your interview and you drove by this house and you saw the van parked, the whatever media van parked outside in your neighborhood, like, did you Google it or anything? like, what's going on in my neighborhood.
Oh, no, I don't use the internet.
No, that's what he said. He was like, no, I didn't Google it or anything. And then the cop kept pressing, and he was like, okay, but, like, if I'm coming to my childhood home and my childhood neighborhood and I see a news van out there, I'm going to at least ask around or try to Google it to see what happened.
Or stop and be like, what happened?
Yeah. No. But instead, he doubled back, and he's like, oh, no, I did check it. I was in a Panera Bread getting lunch or something, and I Googled it, and I saw the headlines, but I didn't, like, read anything about it. So he didn't know it was his family.
What?
It's all a lie. By the way,
yeah.
The cops looked back. There is no history. He literally never did Google it. But he was saying that to make it seem like he wasn't suspicious. Because as soon as that cop was like, I would Google it, he's like, yeah, me too, I did. I just didn't read it all.
Like, that's unusual.
Yeah. So when the police told him that his entire family was murdered, they asked him, who does he think would have done it, right? And so he goes on with this whole Cody thing. So he paints this picture that Cody had come to the house to murder his parents and then couldn't live with himself, so he committed suicide, right? Like, oh my God, that's crazy, and then commits suicide.
Clearly.
The problem was that Cody's wounds didn't have any, like, I forget the technical term of it, but, like, basically there was no evidence that the gun was, fired in close range, so there was no, like, scorching of the skin or anything.
Yeah.
And that based on his wounds, the gun had to at least have been 3 feet away, which means it was physically impossible for him to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And the bullet in his body wasn't the same from his gun. Like, Grant thought he was being smart enough by placing the shell casings. Like, they're not going to actually test the bullets.
Yeah, like, if all the evidence is here, why would they need to double check it?
Yes.
Also, you'd have, like, gunpowder on your hands and stuff.
Yeah, and nobody had any gunpowder residue or anything. There was also, this part's kind of a little fuzzy for me, but there was a note found in somebody's car. I think it was in Cody's car, but it was basically like a suicide note from Cody saying, like, you know, I can't take this anymore. I just want to be your best friend, Grant. I need you in my life always because you can't be in my life. This is the way it's got to be, kind of thing.
Oh my God.
It was later found out that obviously Grant wrote that.
Yeah.
And they were like, why'd you write that? And he was like, oh, I just wanted to, like, this is everything that Cody had told me on the road before he went and murdered everybody. And I wanted to memorize it all, like memorialize it by writing it down as if it were from him.
Jesus.
Yeah. So Jason was asked to talk to Grant during the last few hours of his interrogation. They were like, hey, man, can you come talk to your brother and see if you'll get anything? Because the whole time, Grant is maintaining his innocence. He's painting this picture that shit was all Cody.
Yeah.
And he had nothing to do with it. But also, he's very calm. Like, he's not distraught that his whole family was murdered. He's
my
just
God.
like, I thought that was going to be the case.
It's pretty devastating.
Meanwhile, Jason is tore up.
I
Like,
bet.
Yeah.
His whole family's dead.
Exactly.
At least the ones that aren't assholes.
Exactly. And so he basically was like, I don't believe you. I think you murdered my parents. You owe me the truth. But Grant he maintains his innocence the entire time. So he never gives that to Jason.
How fucked up.
I fucking know. So Grant was charged with triple homicide, and he was granted a $750,000 bond for his release.
Granted.
Well, I mean, like, you can be released for
Okay.
$750,000.
And so he asked Sylvie.
Well, he said that, like, if any millionaires wanted to let him out or some shit, to, like, go ahead and post his bond, but, like, nobody did.
Weird.
And so he was in jail.
Yeah. By the way, if any millionaires want to just, like, I don't know, donate to us, we're also accepting.
Hell yeah, man. Fuck. I'll use that money for advertising and not for a cam girl.
That's right. Maybe, like, once.
Just to see what Sylvie's all about.
Just to see.
That Bulgarian vulva. That is the name of this episode.
Bulgarian vulva.
Oh, God. So during the trial, it was discovered that Grant had obtained the gun used in the murders when he went into his friend's apartment, right?
Yeah.
Grant had sent a video of himself to Sylvie, and he was walking to his mailbox asking Sylvie to send him one of her videos. And in the video that he sent to her, he was like, it's really weird that you're making me pay for stuff when we're together. Like, he's starting to get suspicious, right?
Oh my God, are they not actually together?
Girl.
What? But I thought she just needed a couple more $1,000.
I'm sure she was deeply in love. Now, listen, I'm not here to make fun of anybody and their looks, but Grant was not a looker.
Okay.
I don't know if he is now, but in the interviews, he's like 29 years old, but like super balding, which I'm not here to hate on balding either, but you know how like usually when guys bald, they just shave their head?
Yeah, or like that's the fucking graceful way to go is just go the whole way.
Oh, he had like the 3 strings of hair comb over and he looked young, so it's just a weird look.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not here to hate, but he is a murderer, so it's okay, right?
So we're hating.
Yeah, but
a
like,
little bit.
If you're a nice person and you look like that, I love you and you're handsome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's all about the personality, okay?
But if you murder everybody, like...
I get to talk shit about you.
It's like when girls are super bitchy, but like they're not cute. And
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
get to be like,
you're not that pretty.
you're
to
not
be
allowed
that
to be
mean.
that bitchy.
Yeah.
It's not socially acceptable. Like I said, so
I
they
think my
find
dad
this-
used to tell me that.
Really? That
You're not pretty enough to be that dumb.
Oh, that's mean.
Listen,
Just giving it to you real, huh?
this is my whole childhood.
You need to learn something. Oh my God, my parents were so nice. They were like, "You are the most beautiful sunshine girl in the whole entire world, and your smile just lights up the room." And I'd like eat it up. And then I went into the real world, and I was like, "Nobody else is gonna talk to me like this. What the fuck?
No, I asked for a curling iron one time, and my dad was like, "Why? It's not going to do anything.
It's not gonna help."
It's not going to make it better."
God damn.
And then he told me I was homely, and I was like, "Thanks."
Oh my God, homely. Shit. I'm sure he wouldn't say that now. You grew into it. We were all homely at one time.
I mean, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was.
I had eyes. It was like just eyes on my whole face.
I still am at times, you know? Like, I have to try to not be.
I am too, and I stopped wearing eyeliner. It didn't help.
It makes it worse. So you slowly make these decisions, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear the liquid eyeliner. I'm
Exactly.
Not gonna wear the solid eyeliner. I'm just not going to wear any makeup.
Ease into it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
exactly.
a jump scare.
Yeah. You don't want to scare anybody.
That's
Like
where I'm at.
I like it. I don't even notice that you don't have eyeliner on.
Yeah, see?
See?
This is what my face looks like now.
Already got me used to it.
Unless we go out.
It's like
And I
when
wanna
you
feel pretty.
started wearing a bun too. We're like, oh God, that's weird. And now it's just you just wear a bun.
Yeah, and that's how it is.
Sometimes
Sometimes
weird
it's
that's
up.
how, and like when people are afraid to wear shorts, I used to not ever wear shorts, not because it wasn't strictly because like, oh, I'm not comfortable in them, but also it was like I didn't have a pair that fit me, and we'll just wear pants. And then I started wearing shorts again, and I'm like, that was the dumbest couple years of my life.
Yeah, like why did I do that?
So hot all the time. What a weird role to put on my
insecurity.
face. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
So they discovered that he was sending Sylvie these videos of like, I think it's really weird that you won't just send me free stuff. And she wouldn't because they weren't in a fucking relationship.
Yeah.
It was also discovered that Grant wrote a letter after he got out of rehab apologizing to his fellow masturbator friends on the chat room for lying to them about being a rich gamer, but that all the other things about him, like personality-wise, were totally true.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's really trying to keep up this persona. Like this is his life. He
Jesus.
also said that he hasn't talked to Sylvie since getting out of rehab and that he would, quote, die to make her smile. And he's been sending her messages on public Twitter, but like she was not answering him and it was killing him, he said. So like he really didn't talk to her afterwards other than that cam. Like he got the credits finally after he killed his whole fucking family and stole credit cards and shit. He got those 5,000 credits on the night that he murdered his whole family and watched her at 3 a.m. But that is all. Like, before that, it was, like, literally, he couldn't, and he was trying to get a hold of her through Twitter, and she wasn't answering because she didn't fucking care.
So he murdered his whole family and then watched her?
Yeah.
Like that night?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I
At
didn't
3
put
a.m.
that
in the
together.
Publix parking lot.
Oh, that's really sad.
Isn't that fucking sad? He murdered his whole family so he could buy some more tokens. That's
really
literally
sad.
what it was.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about the crime scene, I kind of painted most of the picture for you, but remember Chad, the dad, how he had blood everywhere or whatever? Well, his whole hands were covered in blood except for his index finger because evidence of his cell phone shows that Grant tried to break into his phone but couldn't, and he had to like factory reset it or something, and then he went to go on his dad's like money app, like the Chase app or whatever, I don't know, whatever fucking bank he had, his banking app,
Yeah.
to go pull out funds, you know?
Oh
from
my
his dad.
God.
And in order to open it, he needed his dad's fingerprint. So he murdered his father, wiped the blood off of his dead father's finger, and used his finger on his dead father's cell phone to like unlock whatever so he can get to the money.
Oh, that's so sad.
And it's all like forensically there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Isn't that crazy?
That's just sad.
Yeah, he was trying real hard to get these tokens.
What a strange addiction.
Isn't it? So after the trial, it's clear he's guilty.
Yeah.
Even though he maintains his innocence. To this day, he maintains his innocence. But he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Good.
Sylvie didn't have any further communications with Grant once he arrived home from rehab, like we said, probably because he didn't have any fucking tokens to, like, pay for that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing, but Grant's attorneys say that Sylvie never responded to their request to talk to them. But also they said that she did contact them, but, quote, didn't have anything helpful to say. Probably because she's like, yeah, I don't know that man.
Yeah.
I was just taking his money. I was like,
Sometimes he
gave him a
pays
key.
me to furiously masturbate.
yeah, like I wasn't talking to him. I guess she sent him a card. But what if it's like us? Like we send everybody cards.
Yeah.
That's well, we haven't. Did we last year?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. It's gone. That was last year.
That was last year. It's done now.
So just for the record, Sylvie like never skipped a beat or like none of this fucking shit phased her, at least publicly, because she just celebrated her 13th cam-iversary this summer and she has regular sales to get more tokens. So
Good
if
for
you want to go
fucking
join
her.
Sylvie's cam live, go check it out.
Somebody go ask her about it.
Yeah, go get some details, guys. So Grant has a new girlfriend in prison and she anonymously posts videos of him confessing his love to her.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, look at this. My
He
boyfriend.
loves me.
Yeah, he loves me. His grossest one, according to Critty, is of him saying he loves her, quote, 5 ever. So, like,
What's
more
that?
than 4 ever. Like, 1 more than 4. Get it? Like, I love you 4 ever. I love you 5 ever.
Wow. Not like 7 ever?
Nope. Or, like, infinity ever. Infinity times infinity.
Yeah. Infinity plus infinity
Only
times...
5? Really, Grant? Really, Grant? Anyway,
It's not even that much.
Grant's girlfriend, fucking watch out.
Yeah. Be careful. But he's never getting out, so...
Yeah, no way. Oh, also, he is totally trying to appeal, but I guess all the appeals are super flimsy and there's, like, no real details. You know, like, he hasn't been granted any
Yeah.
kind of, like, fucking appeal trial or anything.
Yeah, they're like, if someone else were to have done this, they probably would have ransacked the house instead of trying to get
Oh.
into his banking app.
Great point. That was also another thing. Like, nothing was stolen from the house. It clearly was a personal attack, and it was him.
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
He
that's really
did. I
sad.
want to say they did go through his apartment and shit, or like his hotel room or whatever, and they did find like blood or something on clothing. Like it was pretty evident. I probably should have written that down. I heard it. I was listening to another podcast today, listening on it, driving to and from work, and there was some mention of like there is some physical evidence also to tie him to the scene.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So anyway, it fucking for sure was him, and he shouldn't get out.
Absolutely.
He
yeah.
murdered the only people who could help him in this world.
He murdered the only people who did help him repeatedly.
Yeah, super sad.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to this case, please go to our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok and Threads.
Yep.
You can also join us on the goddamn pod group
On Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think I hit a stroke there for a minute. I was like, is that the right thing? Yeah, on Facebook. It's lots of fun. We all hang out. We talk to each other. Whatever. Come join. Also, you can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com or snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
9. And please subscribe, rate, and review us on anything that you listen to. Go tell your friends. Go make Reddit posts. Be like, hey, you want to know this really cool true crime podcast? You should check out this one. But don't do it in certain true crime things on Reddit because they get real mad. They're very serious there. They don't like comedy in their true crime.
Oh.
People find us very disrespectful. Fair.
Fair. It's a fair assessment.
Anyway, go tell your cool friends about us.
Yeah. Don't tell all those lamos.
We're like, you're bringing us home to meet mom and dad, but we're covered in tattoos. So only bring us if your mom and dad are cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, we're like into weird shit, you know, like talk about fucking vampires, you know?
Yeah.
So like those kind of people.
Like, mom and dad have to have read Twilight, you know?
Yeah. And like also be cool with like...
Murder at the dinner table.
Exactly. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.